This is Top 30. Coming up, a record number of people are traveling for the holidays. Alfonso Ribeiro is suing FORTNITE for using his CARLTON dance. And since Santa Claus can't be everywhere at once, there are Santa schools for those hoping to follow in his footsteps. Hi there, welcome to the show. I'm Kristin Smith, and here are 30 things you need to know right now. The U.S. Surgeon General has issued a rare advisory when it comes to vaping, calling for local taxes and bans on public indoor vaping. Former Maryland Health Secretary Dr. Josh Sharfstein says the advisory is, quote, an alert to the nation that e-cigarettes are leading millions of youth into nicotine addiction and placing them at unacceptable risk of harm. And Serena Williams' fight for protection and equality for new moms in the sport of tennis has paid off. Starting next year, the Women's Tennis Association will change the seeding process so that new mothers are not penalized with an unseeded rank when they come back. And finally, not all parents who are serving overseas can make it back for the holidays, but when they do, it's a tearjerker.
Oh my God!
Christmas came a few days early for this little boy when his dad surprised him, and the heartwarming video already has more than 19 million views. All right, now let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with Jerry Willis. Jerry, it sounds like we're in for some record holiday travel.
Yeah, that's right, Kristin. If you're traveling cross-country for the holidays, get ready for a whole lot of congestion. The TSA estimates that 46 million people will be flying over Christmas. That number up 5% from last year. That's a daily average of 2.5 million people per day. The busiest days are slated to be this Thursday, Friday, and December 26th. Meanwhile, Chick-fil-A's Eat More Chicken advertisements are clearly working. The company on track to become the third biggest food chain in the country next year. This would knock Subway to number 4, followed by Taco Bell, Burger King, and Wendy's. Chick-fil-A's stores have grown by nearly 8% last year, with sales expected to grow as much as 15% this year. Ford is focusing on man's best friend. The company has developed a kennel that cancels out noise for dogs that are scared of fireworks. The Ford Quiet Kennel apparently uses the same noise cancellation technology that's found in the Ford Edge.
So where can we get one of these high-tech kennels?
The kennel is only a prototype for now, but Ford says it's also working on other projects that use automotive technology to solve non-automotive problems.
All right, good to know. Thanks, Jerry. Time now for the New York Minute with Rosanna Scotto from Fox 5 New York. Rosanna, my friend, New York may have found an unexpected way to repair its aging subway system.
Well, you know, we've talked about the subways, how they're late, they're falling apart. In fact, some say the subways have gone to pot. And now it may be literally. So the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, once called marijuana a gateway drug, but now he supports legalizing it and will make it a priority in the first 100 days of 2019. Now, he feels like the subways need $43 billion in repairs. Some city council speakers are proposing weed for rails. That's what they're calling it. They're thinking it could raise $1.3 billion in tax revenue annually from legalized weed to use to repair public transportation. Others propose revenue from marijuana should be used in communities of color because they're unjustly affected by drug laws. So who knows, maybe they'll split this in two. But you know what? Just so you know, the governor of New York is high on getting high, and that's the bottom line.
All these catchy slogans. Sounds like they've got options. So let's see what happens and move on now. We've talked about New York's finest and strongest. Now let's talk about the bravest.
You're not going to believe this. A beautiful piece of history has come back to the Bronx. So a 137-year-old FDNY ledger was discovered in Florida. Now, how it got there, no one knows. So this ledger was from 1881, and it was a minute-to-minute chronicle of Engine Company 48 in the Bronx. It includes everything from when they had lunch to shift changes to 3-alarm fires. It's a very strange look back at time when firemen lived in the firehouse, visiting their families only once a week. And by the way, the Civil War had only happened like 16 years earlier. But some note the job hasn't really changed much and the traditions still hold true. Now, just so you know, this is very delicate. The pages are old and crumbling, so they need to restore it and preserve it, and it's going to take longer than a New York minute.
That's really, really cool. Rosanna, thanks for sharing that with us. All right, well, if you're not a fan of virtual reality now, when you hear how it's helping people face their fears, you may reconsider. According to an article by CNN, VR is popping up in places like dentist offices, airplanes, and more to help people stay calm where they otherwise may be anxious. Research shows that VR can help reduce pain and anxiety due to its ability to distract. Opera VR allows dental patients to watch calming scenes of nature, animals, or even a juggler from a headset during their procedure. Founder of the startup behind Opera VR, Brian Laskin, says it's used by anxious patients as well as those who think the dentist is socially awkward. Right now, there are about 100 dental offices using the VR technology, costing offices about $1,000 for each headset. In addition, airlines are also incorporating VR headsets to help first class and business class passengers. Turkish Airlines, British Airways, and Alaska Airlines started using the VR headsets this year. Each headset costs an airline between $2 and $3 grand and allows users to watch movies or videos during the flight. But keep an eye out because virtual reality may be coming to an office or business near you. Now let's go to the New York Post, where Heather Houseworth has one of today's top stories. So Heather, the fired head of CBS lost more than just his job.
That's right, Kristin. Former CBS chief Les Moonves will not be getting a single dime of his $120 million severance package. Earlier in September, Moonves stepped down as chairman and CEO of CBS after sexual harassment accusations from a dozen women. The fallen CEO expected to walk away with his full severance package, but the CBS board of directors ordered an investigation into his conduct. And yesterday, it found that Moonves violated company policy. If CBS had paid Moonves his millions, it likely would have faced a huge backlash from women and advertisers.
So Heather, how did Moonves respond to the board's decision?
Well, Kristin, Moonves continues to deny any non-consensual sexual relations. His lawyer responded by saying that the conclusions of the board were baseless and without merit. As for CBS, the company says it's taking steps to improve the working environment for all employees, such as hiring a new chief people officer.
Good to know. Thanks, Heather. Well, Santa can't be everywhere at once, especially during the busy holiday season. So there are backups. And for those hoping to follow in the big guy's footsteps, did you know there are actual Santa schools? It's a thing. And the world's oldest Santa school is called the Charles W. Howard Santa School in Midland, Michigan, and is very competitive. In fact, it's considered the Harvard of Santa schools and has been around for 81 years. Not every applicant is accepted, but each year about 200 Santa hopefuls attend class where they learn everything from how to laugh with a bowl full of jelly and a hearty ho 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 to child psychology, because it's important they know how to deal with crying babies or kids who might be really shy. And the key to being a great Santa is being prepared for anything a kid might ask. So all the Santas in training study reindeer habits and actually spend time with real reindeer. They learn how to make wooden toys and, of course, study up on St. Nick's backstory and the North Pole. And any good freelance Santa has to look the part. So they learn how to properly curl their mustaches and groom their beards, and a little tutorial in makeup so they can get those perfectly rosy cheeks. Now, nobody likes a stinky Santa, so a properly educated one will put peppermint oil in their beard so they smell good and festive. And still ahead on Top 30, how to prevent phobias from impacting your everyday life. Also, Martin Luther King Jr.'s childhood home is officially off the market. We'll tell you about it. Top 30 will be right back after this promotional consideration provided by Purple. Welcome back. Our friend Headcrack over at Dish Nation has the hottest celebrity news. So Headcrack, I hear designers are clamoring to dress a certain celeb.
That's right, Kristin. Wouldn't it be dope if everything you wore sold out? They're calling it the Meghan effect, and it's very real. Ever since Meghan Markle became the Duchess, she's become a style icon. All the major designers who contributed to her look saw a massive increase in their search traffic. For example, a crossbody bag she normally carries sold out and has a 3,000-person wait list. We should definitely send her a Dish Nation shirt. Now imagine trying to look on your ex's social media page and you find out that you're blocked. Well, that's exactly what happened to Meek Mill when he tried to go to Nicki Minaj's Instagram page. Meek had an Ask Meek session on Twitter, and someone asked him how he felt about Nicki's new boyfriend. Well, his reply was, I don't feel anything. I don't know the man to judge him. I went to check him out on her page and I found out I was blocked. I know the feeling. I tried to check out Amber Rose's new boyfriend and she did the same to me. And finally, our brother Diddy celebrated his twin daughters over the weekend. Diddy threw out an early birthday bash for his twins, Delilah and Jessie, who turned 12 on December 21st. They had an 80s themed party. The girls were dressed in neon outfits and Diddy had a neon Sean C sweatshirt. The pictures looked like they had a great time, and I'm just glad to see the family in good spirits and happy. Well, anyway, that's today's dish. Until next time.
It's so great to see them having a good time. Head crack, thank you. For the latest celebrity news, watch Dish Nation weekdays. Check our local listings. The National Park Service has just bought quite the family heirloom. According to the Associated Press, the NPS has purchased the home in Atlanta, Georgia, where Martin Luther King Jr. was born in 1929. Congress declared it a National Historic Site back in 1980, and tours were available starting in 1982. The civil rights leader's family owned the home on Auburn Avenue for more than a century. In fact, the home was actually built in 1895 for a white family and later purchased by King's grandfather for $3,500. King's mother inherited the house, and his younger brother, A.D. King, and his family were the last of the family line to live there. The sale to the National Park Service closed last month for an undisclosed amount. Now here's a fun story. Entertainment Weekly named KACEY Musgrave's Golden Hour the best album of the year. NME said that honor went to a brief inquiry into online relationships by the 1975, and Rolling Stone chose Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy. But with his picks, we're joined by New York City radio host Mike Adam. Mike, 2018's almost over, so looking back, what were your top album picks?
Wow, so pop music is obviously my lane, so I'm going to stick to that. Let's start things off with A Star Is Born. I love the soundtrack. Who knew Bradley Cooper had that voice? And there's 19 songs on there, and not one of them is a skip-over song. I love that album. I love Sweetener by Ariana Grande. This is music therapy at its finest. She channeled in all the emotion she was feeling from the Manchester bombing, her highly publicized love life, put it into an album, and was brave enough to share it with fans. And then let's do Dirty Computer from Janelle Monáe. Just a flawless album. She's like cut from the same cloth as Lauryn Hill. She could sing as good as she raps.
That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel.
Oh my gosh, I love her. That's quite a group. What about the best songs?
Songs. I really love Electricity from SILKCITY and Dua Lipa. When you have a song produced by Mark Ronson and Diplo, you pretty much know it's going to be a hit, and Dua sounds so good on the song. And I think the video really takes it to a new level as well, between Dua Lipa's dancing and the plot of the music video. So good. I love CHUN-LI by Nicki Minaj. The beat alone reminds me of like the New York City hip-hop I grew up on, and she just has so many quotable lines on there, too many to mention. And then lastly, let's do David Guetta and Anne Marie, Don't Leave Me Alone. Just a perfect pop song, and I think she's really one of the artists that you should watch when it comes to the newish female pop singers.
You're angry, even when I'm cold. Don't you ever leave me, don't leave me alone.
Mike, great picks. Thank you so much. Well, if you're in need of a good weekender bag, today's Top 30 Steal is for you. We have a Milan duffel travel bag at a special 80% discount. This stylish 20-inch bag is perfect for storing all of your on-the-go essentials. They're made from vegan faux leather, which actually enhances strength and durability. The interior compartment is so spacious, with a total of 5 slip-in and zippered pockets. And then there's even a 6th pocket on the back. You can get this in black, brown, red, or taupe. They all come with the gold tone embellishments and a matching luggage tag. The Milan duffel travel bag retails for as much as $250, but today you can buy it for just $49. That's an 80% discount. And you can get this right now at morningsave.com while they last. Stay with us. We have more Top 30 coming right up. Welcome back to Top 30. If you were at all a fan of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, then you're familiar with Alfonso Ribeiro's famous Carlton dance. Here's a refresher.
It's not unusual to be
Now, Alfonso has filed a lawsuit against the creators of the popular video game FORTNITE, claiming they unfairly use his dance without his permission or credit. So we have attorney and legal analyst Annalise Getz with us today to discuss this case. Annalise, it's always good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So I grew up on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I know the Carlton dance very, very well. And when I look at the FORTNITE dance, it looks eerily similar. Does Alfonso have a case here?
Yes and no. We kind of have to parse it out a bit. So I think that his stronger case is the right to publicity, which essentially means that someone has the right to control how their likeness and image is used as it relates to making a profit. I think that he has a good argument that they are profiting off of his likeness, and that's probably his best argument in this case.
If you ask 10 people what this dance is, Carlton dance, and so I don't get it. But Alfonso did first perform it in 1991, I believe it was, clearly long before FORTNITE was around. So will that help him in establishing some sort of trademark here?
He's going to be arguing that he has a copyright in this. This is a relatively new concept to copyright a dance. It wasn't added until 1976 to the Copyright Act. But what it's really meant to cover, I believe the exact language is something along the lines of a series or patterns of dance moves that are usually incorporated to music. It's supposed to cover, think of like the Nutcracker, a very large performance. And it is not meant to cover end zone dances or the moonwalk, Michael Jackson's famous moonwalk.
Of course.
That would be a move as opposed to a dance. But where the law stands right now, I think that he probably has a bit of an uphill battle.
I must say, I'm on Team Carlton, though, with this one. Annalise, thank you. All right, time now for Gary's Life Fix, brought to you by Sandals Resorts. Whether it's spiders, heights, or clowns, roughly 1 in 11 Americans experienced a specific phobia in the last year. With more, we're joined by business and life strategist Gary Cox. So, Gary, what impact can phobias have on our day-to-day lives?
It's crazy for people who have phobias, Kristin. It literally controls their lives. They're out of control. It can prevent their ability to go to work. It messes them up sometimes in relationships. It just depends on the phobia. But for a lot of people, I think it's like over 10%. So you're looking at just in the United States alone, 30 million people with this.
And some phobias are very serious. Like you said, they impact our everyday life. So what can we do if we're on the more serious side of phobias to get rid of them?
Well, if it's really severe, you've got to get help. And as you know, I specialize in reversing phobias very, very quickly. But one of the first things they have to appreciate is, how do you reward the phobia? Anytime we have an emotion, Kristin, whether it's positive or negative, we do one of two things. We ignore it or we reward it. And when we have a phobia, we always reward it, and that digs our grave emotionally and makes it worse, deeper and deeper and deeper. So what we have to learn to do is, first of all, create an ability to stop and break that pattern. And also the reason people have phobias is they create negative associations to whatever it is they're phobic of. So one of the first things they have to learn to do is to create a positive association. And for somebody that's phobic, that's not an easy thing to do. Here's the ultimate thing I'm looking for when I work with people. It's emotional freedom. Think about, Kristin, if you or anybody had more emotional freedom, what could we do? How much better would our relationships be? How much more functional would we be? How much more successful we would be? So all of these things, what happens is they end up taking more priority over emotional freedom, happiness, and control.
Gary, such great information. Thank you so much for joining us. And Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Top 30. Around the holidays, people want to be around that special someone. And if you're single, this might be the time to start looking. Joining us now is dating expert and coach Meredith Golden. Meredith, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, dating has evolved. It's no longer just, that person seems interesting. You have so many options.
So many options. You can go on the dating apps and you can access 50 million singles right on your phone 24/7. If you're looking for someone who's the same religion, you can filter by your religion. If you have a height requirement, you can filter by height. I think now, millennials, if they're walking in the street and they see someone who's attractive, they're not gonna go up to them and be like, hey, nice to meet you. Want to come have coffee?
Okay, so how do you come in as a dating expert and a coach? What does that even mean?
So someone will hire me. I'll make sure that they have a good profile, that they have a good description in their profile. I'll make sure their pictures are awesome. And then what I do is I go in and I swipe and I message as the client for the client. But I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about my clients. It's all about the client information.
So kind of like a ghostwriter.
I'm a ghostwriter, exactly. I'm a dating app ghostwriter.
Okay, tell me, what about 3 dating do's and don'ts?
Okay, 3 dating do's. You have to have a good profile. That means great pictures. People need to see your face before they make a decision if they're going right or left. Make sure you have something in the description. If you don't have something listed, people can't chat.
Yeah.
Don'ts. don't reschedule. The reschedule never happens. Also, it's really important, double book. You can schedule 2-3 dates a night if you want. Now they're short, they're micro dates. You're meeting from the apps to see if you connect. Is there chemistry? Do you find the person attractive? Is the person who showed up, are they who they said they were?
I had so much fun with this. Thanks, Meredith. And that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for watching. Here's what's coming up on the next Top 30. A surprising new study might make your holiday gift shopping less stressful. Plus, why one billionaire thinks longer weekends for workers could be on the way. And tech experts rank the best gadgets of 2018, from smart screens to drones. You can also listen to today's biggest stories on the Top 30 podcast. It's all coming up on the next Top 30.